Fellow auto detailers, welcome to the show that features interviews with today's most successful auto detailers. This is the Auto Detailing Podcast. Here's your host, Jimbo Balaam.
This week's sponsor for the Auto Detailing Podcast is Google AdWords for the modern auto detailing business at autodetailingpodcast.com/Google. If you're looking to take your business to the next level, or maybe you're just starting your detailing business and your website doesn't quite rank high enough in a Google search for keywords like auto detailing and the such like, you're going to want to head over to autodetailingpodcast.com/Google. Because I'm going to show you exactly how to get your site to rank higher in Google searching, how to put, honestly, hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in your pocket every single month in addition to what you're already making. And it doesn't have to cost a lot of money to do paid advertising. For as little as $40, one student made over $1,000. How about, do you have $3 extra per day that you could be using for advertising expense? With $3 a day, I had another student net over $1,300 one month. That means he spent maybe $90 in ad spend for the whole month and made $1,300. I think that's an investment that we would all make. So head on over to autodetailingpodcast.com/Google. Get that training done today and seriously take your business to the next level. That's autodetailingpodcast.com/Google. We'll see you on the inside. What's going on, guys? It's Jimbo with the Auto Detailing Podcast, coming back for another quick tip for you. And this one is one that I know about, I've known about, you know about, you've known about, but we tend to not do. And I'm realizing that it's leaving a ton of money on the table. And sometimes we only realize it when we start to slow down. But part of my tip is to realize it when you're busy, and realizing it when you're busy will help you to actually not have those slow times. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about customer follow-up. You know that guy or gal or person that called you last week, asked you for a quote, you gave him a quote, maybe ballpark quote over the phone, or told him you had to come check out the car in person or bring the car by the shop, and then you never heard from him again? What about circling back with that person and saying, hey, I know I threw out that quote. I know I told you to come by the shop. You never came. Just wanted to follow up, see if I could be of any other assistance to you. What if you did that? Because if your business is anything like my business, you get a slew of calls maybe every week or every day or at least every month of people that are just calling for quotes, and then you never hear from them again. Or maybe a person that you already actually detailed their car or even just washed their car, and then you never heard from them again. Those are even better candidates because they've already spent money with you. So the quick tip today is follow-up. This has happened twice in the past 2 weeks, in the past week in my own personal business, where I got a call of a person that they actually called me, so I can't give myself too much credit on the follow-up. But they called me saying that I detailed their car in the past. They want to have me out again. I give them a ballpark quote, and then it's kind of the standard response of, oh, let me check with my wife, or oh, let me check my calendar, or oh, let me get back to you, or whatever their excuse in that time is. And then typical, you get off the phone, you never think about it again. But what I decided to do, because yes, even in California we do have slow times sometimes, I decided to circle back with them, which is what we should always be doing. But for some reason, I tend to not really do it. And I go, oh, they will call me back, or yeah, I'll hear from him again. And I throw it in the hands of the customer. But in the hands of the customer, sometimes we're the lowest guy on the totem pole. Sometimes not, but most times we're the lowest guy on the totem pole. So both in these two instances, I circled back with the person. And now as I'm talking about this, there was another time I did this about a month ago, and it worked as well. I followed back up a day later with the customer, and I said, hey, we talked yesterday. Again, I didn't give it much time. I didn't even let it go 2 days. I didn't even let it go a week. The next day, I follow up with the customer, and I say, hey, we talked yesterday. You said you were going to get back to me. I haven't heard from you. I just wanted to follow up. And I'll tell you what, it's kind of, you feel like you're bugging them a little bit too much by following up so quickly. Like, hey, I just talked to you yesterday. Maybe I didn't even give them enough time to actually talk with their spouse or look at their calendar or whatever. But every time I've done this, the customer has been said, oh my gosh, thank you so much for calling back. Thank you so much for following up with me. It totally slipped my mind. Let's schedule the appointment. And I end up scheduling, booking, and completing the appointment every time I followed up with the customer. And I'm working with a software company that is making this follow-up on quotes a little bit easier that I can maybe talk to you about later in a future episode. But if nothing else, just writing them that person's name and number down. Most of us are using cell phones, and you can get their number easily from that. Even if you don't have their name, which happens for me sometimes, I don't even have the person's name, and still call them back. So customer follow-up is huge. You are leaving a ton of money on the table if you are not following up with your customers.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Auto Detailing Podcast. Head on over to autodetailingpodcast.com for full show notes and links of everything that we've talked about today. And don't forget to check out our resources page for a direct link to all the products talked about not only on today's episode, but that I use in my day-to-day detail business. They have direct links so you can purchase and get free shipping right from that page. That's autodetailingpodcast.com. We'll see you on the next episode.